Hi, parents. This is Robin Cooper, preparing you for Latin for year 3 of Equip 222 with 7th to 9th graders or those students that are just starting to use Henley 1 and learn Latin. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. This video is just all about preparation. Just like grammar, Latin takes years of study to master, like any language. It's going to take years of study to master. There are all kinds of reasons that we study Latin, and I'll share those reasons with you, not in this video, as we go. I am just providing you the way that you can get organized. I got windows popping up. Hang on. Sorry. Okay, so you will see you have access to this page that goes over Latin for beginners using Henley 1. I have a section about you getting organized. I want you to take 2 hours before the school year starts to get organized. I want you to order your materials. I have a sheet that I am preparing for you guys to be able to order your materials. And if you click down to this section of this sheet, you'll see logic, you'll see literature, you'll see Latin, and I want you to get Henley's Latin first year set. You can find these used online. They're old. They've been around a long time. Plenty of people use them. The best way to use them is to spiralize your books, like get the binding cut off the side at Office Depot or Kinko's or Office Max at your office supply store and ask them to spiralize them. That way they lay flat. Otherwise they're bound kind of like this, and they're thick books, so it's just a little bit harder. The other thing that you'll want for Latin, where am I, is Cassell's Standard Latin Dictionary by Funk and Wagnalls. I don't have a preference really for the age or version of the Latin dictionary that you get. I vaguely remember somebody said get an old one because of the words available in it. So my copy was printed in 1959. This is another old book, so you can get a used version. The kids need to be able to search out a Latin word, and they also need to be able to search out the English word and find it in Latin. I want them to have a paper copy of a good Latin to English, English to Latin dictionary. Okay, so let me go back to, that's poetry. Let me go back to our Latin sheet. Where did it go? Here we go, Latin for beginners. I think maybe I closed it. You're going to want to print your materials. I've got an answer key, a huge guide that I obtained for you. You can print page 1 through 170. You can download this to GoodNotes and use it in an iPad if you don't want to print so much. You should print, like actually print the printable worksheets. And this one I like better. I just like the layout of it better. The reason you're printing worksheets is because they're just not the most user-friendly books to use. It's an old book. So by having a worksheet, I believe it makes doing the work more approachable. So they will have a worksheet to go along with the Henley book that they're using. And once you finish lesson 27, I switch your worksheet because I like it better. And then they're also going to print the worksheets for the end, all the way through lesson 185. They're getting through 185 lessons this year. This is the first 3 units of Henley 1, the first year of the first volume. And that is a reasonable goal. I have a resource for vocabulary and derivatives for them that you're going to print in black and white. And you need to print your Latin charts. Okay, do not skip this. You want to print your Latin charts. Trust me, because they need to build a binder that they can use as a reference tool. They need to be able to flip to a page and see all the stems and endings for their Latin words. They need their reference charts. So don't skimp on printing your charts. You do have optional printables. If you want them to work ahead of time through the summer, you can have them work on noun declensions in the summer, and it will just help them like get acclimated to the fact that nouns have different endings, and you decline a noun and you conjugate a verb. It's a highly inflected language, like the Romantic languages, French or Spanish. The endings change the meaning of the words. So that's optional. The other optional, why do I say that? The other optional thing that you can do with your child is have them do visual Latin in Compass Classroom. I'm going to show you Compass Classroom, and I'm going to show you visual Latin. Here's visual Latin. And this, I mean, Mike has been working through this. He's 55% through. We've just been doing it when we have time over the school year. And your children can spend some time in the summer to do that also. That's another option. Okay. After you get organized with your student, here's what, after you've organized, don't make your student necessarily organize. You get organized. Okay, so then I want you to grab your student in the summer, set aside a half hour when you both can pay attention, make this fun. In other words, like get some snacks, get some bevies that you wanted to drink together and enjoy, like your favorite things, and watch these videos. One is the explanation of Henley's first year textbook. It's a little bit dry. I'm sorry, it's 5 minutes long. Then you're going to watch 12 minutes. Why would you even study Latin? I love Dwayne Thomas. He's the one doing that video. And we're going to look at some Latin pronunciation as well. There's 2 ways to pronounce Latin. This is what you're going to do before class starts. Then when we are in our semesters, instead of calling these sessions, I've called them semesters. I provide videos for your students. So to go along with the lessons that they're doing in Henley. They have videos of, different lengths. I'm just trying to make this easier and give you, I'm trying to give you the tools and resources to decode Latin when you don't have me sitting in front of you. In lesson 1, for example, in Henley, they're going to decline terra. They're going to learn the rules for gender and the use of verbs in Latin. They want to memorize the declension of terra. And you actually memorized declensions and conjugations through Claritas. You haven't maybe known what you were doing, but some of this will come along because you've sung them. They're going to learn some of the grammar rules, okay, from the grammar notebook, which is a different book. Because in Henley, you've got a grammar notebook. It's the blue book. So you're going to memorize some of the grammar rules, and I've linked up the essentials charts. Your children were exposed to some of the essentials charts with me 2 years ago, and my children still look at this. I wanted to give you a tool for what are the essentials charts that pertain to Latin now, because what Latin's going to do is going to totally put your grip of the English language on steroids. And if you don't know your English grammar yet, it's going to require a little bit more catch up and work from you. You need to know English grammar. That's why I pushed it so hard when I was with your children. But you have this for every week. You have, some of these are like super fun. Like this one is so let me see if I can find a fun one. I found this guy that does raps. Anyway, you've got these little videos linked for every session that I could find them for, and that is available to you. And you'll see that we get all the way through lesson 15. That's the end of unit 3 for the upcoming school year. This is scaffolded. It's not too hard. It requires labor. Your children will grow and learn in both English and Latin will feed their knowledge of all of the sciences, because the sciences root words use Latin. It also will improve their expressive language, because 60% of the English language comes from Latin roots and words.